James, you know, the revolution is going to be because of us. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Ask a Brother podcast. I'm your host, Jeff St. James, and I'm excited for today's episode and interview for sure. So as you guys are going to eventually start to trickle in, please make sure when you see this, you send it to as many people as you can, because I have a strange feeling that, again, this is going to be a really dope, great episode for sure. So for starters, if you are currently watching, please make sure that you like this video. Please make sure that you are a subscriber if you have not done so. Feel free to become a member if you have not, because that's how we're going to build up this platform and continue to build up this channel for sure. And then last but not least, shout out to the 38,261 subscribers that we have now accumulated and added to our team over the last year and 6 days since we launched this channel for sure. So if you are, again, make sure that you like this. Make sure you send it to 3, 4, even 5 people. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be a really great episode for sure. So without further ado, I'm going to give a shout out to our sponsor, which is DuSable Botanical Farms, for their healthy alternatives to helping you gentlemen in the bedroom for sure, to help with overall performance as well as testosterone levels. So we're going to watch a quick video from our sponsor for today, and then I'm going to jump straight into our episode and introducing today's guest. Stay tuned. Thanks again to DuSable Botanical Farms for that awesome ad and just being a great sponsor to our show and our platform as well. So guys, if you want to check out their products, please make sure that you type in Ask a Brother 10 for 10% off your next purchase when you do. And listen, y'all, I'm super excited about what this is going to be. And for those of you who are eventually going to watch this on replay after the live is fully done and up. But if you're currently in, I see people are finally starting to slowly trickle in. Please send it, especially if you're familiar with this brother. I highly recommend it. I think that y'all going to enjoy this conversation for sure. So without further ado, please, I always say it again, please make sure you please make sure you send this to a few people. And then if y'all are starting to enjoy the conversation as we're going on, please make sure to comment in the chat, because I will periodically probably show those for sure. So just going to let y'all know real quick. I'm excited about this, man. I've been trying to get this brother on for a little minute. And if you like and enjoy the content and specifically the conversation, feel free to hit that super chat, that $sign button, just to kind of let us know if you want to ask questions or comments or remarks of any kind. So to introduce today's guest, with over 436,000 subscribers on YouTube alone, I think he has even a little bit more than that now. He is the host of the No Fugazi podcast, where he discusses the raw, unfiltered truth about relationships, dating, and accountability. He is a man that doesn't run from the smoke. He is willing to be, he's challenged like harmful ideologies and seeking to bring a brand of masculinity back into these type of conversations. He has been on panels from Pearl to Andrew Wilson and countless other big platforms and with other creators. And he's always been able to, strangely enough, been able to like hold his own. So please, y'all, please help me welcome to the stage and welcome to the show for the first time, Mr. Cooley. What's going on, sir?
Hey, man. What's going on, brother? Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you for sliding through. So for everybody who maybe not know you or isn't familiar with you, can you let them know a little bit about your background and how you even got into content creation?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is David Cooley. I'm the host of No Fugazi podcast. I started this show that I'm doing in 2023, January of 2023. I started I got into it, when the pandemic happened, it was like a great awakening for many people. And that great awakening, it woken many people up about many different things as far as, how the government tends to operate, how you're locked in your crib for all of this time. Everyone is on social media, dating apps, and they're just doing everything, right? So there was a platform called, it was, what was it called? It's the platform where you I just lost my train of thought. Where you can basically, it only tracks the voice, but it's audio only. But a lot of people, dang, I forgot it. It's on the top of my mind. But I was on this one platform before I ever came on a YouTube or anything like that, and you would go into these rooms, and everyone was debating about COVID. Everyone was debating about dating and relationships.
Oh, Clubhouse.
Clubhouse. That's what it is. Clubhouse. So before I got on anything, I had like the usual platforms. Like I had like a little TikTok and, Instagram, but nothing was like popping off or anything like that. But where I really started to get my thoughts and my ideas out there and also challenge other people's ideas was on Clubhouse. I wasn't on there long, but I'm like, yo, everyone is on here. Let me go ahead and make an account and, see what this is about. Cause I tend to have a different perspective about things as far as dating and relationships and, what's going on with the economy due to COVID, what's going on, my geopolitical views as well, what's going on overseas. So I was just giving my takes and debating with people. And then after that, I transitioned into doing a podcast. I had no idea what I was going to do for my first show at all. Like I bought my mic, I bought my camera, just one camera, had, 2 mics at the time. And I thought like, you know what? I got some information, but let's start speaking about dating and relationships. At this time, Fresh and Fit, they were about maybe 2 years in.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe they had a good 2-year run. So they was 2 years in. Like, so when I first started my show, Fresh and Fit probably had like 800,000 subscribers. So they was already killing the game, right? Prior to me even seeing Fresh and Fit, though, it was another podcast called 8 at the Table that did in relationship content as well, which I used to see that. That was like the first thing that I seen because they're located right in Jersey. And I got some people out there that I know on the podcast and stuff like that. So that influenced me as well. They would bring on, men and women and have the dating and relationship talk. Fresh and Fit, that was definitely an influence as well of me starting the, not the No Fugazi show itself, but starting the dating and relationship type of content.
Gotcha.
So, with those two influences, I'm like, you know what? My first show that I ever recorded, it went viral on Facebook. That's what happened. So I had this woman, she was 41 years old, and she started crying and she got up and left. I did a show with only 3 girls. So it's just me, 3 girls, and this one chick left on my first show. It wasn't even live. It was pre-recorded. At this time, I didn't even know how to go live. I was fully brand new at it. I'm like, bro, live, how do you go live? What is Streamlabs? What is Restream? I'm like, man, let me just turn on the camera. Let me record it. I didn't even have like the, I just used my battery as far as the camera. I didn't have the outlet that you plug into the camera and then you plug into the wall. I didn't have any of that. So I was fully brand new. But as far as me, like, I'm always the individual where it's like, I'm not going to procrastinate on anything. If I have my mind fixated on something, I'm going to go ahead out and there and do it. Right. Prior to me doing content, I was doing, I was in sales. Right. And in sales, I was making a bag. So prior to me ever doing any content, I was still making, $300,000 a year prior to the content. You know what I mean? And think about it as any man in America, any human being in America, I would say that's, kind of,
that's great.
Not low 6 figures, but you making over $250,000. That's pretty good, right?
That's great. That's great. Yeah.
I had no intentions of stopping what I was doing and then going into just, fully doing the content. But that's what pretty much, that's how everything got started. So yeah.
Nah, I appreciate your story, and I appreciate, because a lot of times people don't come across you until you're already big, and everybody's heard of you at that point. And it's nice to hear how your story kind of started, where you just figuring it out, like I was, where I just started.
Yeah, you just figuring it out, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it's trial and error with a lot of it. It's all figuring it out. But the thing is, the reason why I called the podcast No Fugazi was because that was always my attitude about anything, about everything. With my L's, even with my W's, I'm always gonna keep it real about my L's. If I take a L, listen, man, you take a L, you get back up to see another day. You take the W, you're gonna hear about my W's too. You know what I mean? So as far as No Fugazi, it's all about one, if you see with my content, I do dating and relationship shows, but just within 8 months of me starting the dating and relationship shows, I transitioned, not even transitions, it was a strategic plan to start doing debates. Because I was already debating on Clubhouse.
Got you.
So I already wanted to like tango with people and argue my ideas against other people's worldviews. And I learned that like getting into things, that all worldviews consist of three things. It consists of epistemology, metaphysics, and ethics. All worldviews consist of that. And if anyone's wondering what epistemology is, that's just the theory of knowledge. Metaphysics is the branch of philosophy that deals with like reality, existence, kind of getting into like, space, time, free will, God, stuff like that. And ethics is just moral principles. So when I started understanding people's worldviews, well, first I had to understand my worldview and what it consists of and where it came from. I always say influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. So I had to self-reflect and see, well, where does these thoughts come from? Are these my own thoughts? So then as I start to look back at things, I'm like, most things that human beings think are not their own thoughts.
Facts.
It's not their own thoughts at all.
Politics,
it's not their own
everything.
Thoughts. Politics, even how you view dating in relationships is not your own thoughts. You are influenced via maybe religion, via your family. You've looked at your dad and your mom's relationship, whether if that was whole or broken. And also you looked at your friends. Like most men, they learn how to talk to girls and stuff by seeing what works with their friends.
Facts.
Oh, they did not work with you? I'm gonna go ahead and steal that. So it's not even your own thoughts, right?
Facts. This is true. This is true. And keeping with that, once it started to take off, how was it received amongst like your personal relationships and like your family and friends?
Yeah, so when it first started to take off, I would say I went viral with the first episode. That got a little attention. I think within maybe like the first few months, I got up to about like 40,000 subscribers. I think within the first year, actually, I got up to, I think I was at 80,000 subscribers within the first year.
Nice.
Then after that first year, then that's when it really started to take off a little bit more for me. How my peers took it and my family and friends, I would say everyone took it fairly decent. When you start to speak about dating and relationships, you got sisters, you got your mom, you got your aunties, your cousins, that's women. They're like, wow, that's what you think. Right? Oh, that's what you think. Oh, I see. Because they really can't understand, right? So I would say that they was indifferent about it. They really didn't have like a strong opinion on it. It is what it is. Okay, I see what you're doing. I like where this is going sometimes. And other times it's like, they're just indifferent. Like, okay, well, they really weren't opinionated. As far as my family goes, as far as my friends, I would say, everything was good. A lot of my friends worked along with me.
Nice.
Yeah, I hired them. Nice. Yeah, a lot of my friends.
No, that's what's up, man. And kudos to you for kind of taking the plunge and testing it out, because there wasn't a lot of men that look like you that's in our age bracket that was doing this on a successful level. It's usually like older guys that's been doing it for 10 plus years now. and then everybody else. So it's nice to see a brother like yourself that, you know, you actually, it sounds like you actually prepare, especially when it's time to debate. You're actually going into these debates like fully prepared to kind of defend your argument, point out where you got your knowledge from, point out the weaknesses. Like that's refreshing to see that some people actually take this stuff like a little seriously.
Yeah, man. So the thing is, I look at debates. I never turned down a fade and I never turned down a debate. So I look at
Wow.
a debate just like I'm looking at a fade. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I'm fighting, where I grew up from was Union County, New Jersey, right?
Yeah, you know.
And all my life, I was fighting. All my life. Did I want
Mm-hmm.
to fight? No, I didn't want to fight. I didn't have no choice. We lived in the projects, family raised on Section 8. We just making it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, yep.
Hard, not life. And growing up like that, what it does is what it instilled into me is a fighter's mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And I just took that from, you know, project days, fighting and defending my cousins and my friends, then took that into playing sports, tore
Mm-hmm.
my ACL in 10th grade, but I still turned around to win 2 gold medals in track. So, and then also went on to college to play some ball as well. Never gave up, but I had the usual young black boys mindset to not really prioritize the intellectual aspect of things, more to prioritize the physical. Like I'm 6'4", I'm
Mm-hmm.
athletic. I was dunking in 8th grade.
By the way,
Super
half the audience
fast.
Hates you for those reasons alone. By the way, like 6'4",
Probably so, right?
athlete, you got the beard of a demigod. Like what the fuck? Like
Yeah, right.
yeah, go ahead, go
So
ahead.
I had the talents already, so I really wasn't focused on like, you know, reading books and, you know, being smart. And to be honest, where I'm from, it's like you a geek if you reading books. Like we used to, you know what I mean, bully you. Take your book bag. Like, oh, you walking into school with a big old book bag on, man. What are you doing? So
Yep,
I'm
yep.
from that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I'm from that time. So it was a lot of things that I had to unlearn. But I still kept the fighter's mentality. So I like to challenge myself. And I never backed down from a fade. I never backed down from a debate.
You know what? You're inspiring me, man. I've been kind of staying in the lane of interviews and solo content, and I haven't really done it. I haven't done any actual like debates. Yeah, you making me think that maybe I need to consider it because
So it was very strategic though. So think about it. The Great Awakening, I call it the Great Awakening because everything happened in like 2020. You got COVID, then people are looking at, well, what happened during 9/11? What happened with the small het community? What's really going on? Who's controlling this? Why are we locked into the house? So the Great Awakening started to happen there. So everyone started to wake up a little bit, right? So
I thought so. I don't know.
at least we thought. At least we thought so. A lot of people did wake up, though. I would say.
Okay.
So around that time, I would say that it was strategic because I wasn't really into politics at that time, and I remember I'm good at like being perspicacious, observing my surroundings, observing what's going on in media, just observing things. And I'm like, something is changing. Like I've never heard these people speak about politics at all, but these people are speaking about politics and they're very interested in politics. I'm looking at social media algorithm like, wow, everyone is into politics right now. What's going on?
Yep.
Then I'm looking at the algorithms. Everyone is interested in dating and relationships. And because currently, like at this time, but even prior to then, you got the dating apps, you got Instagram, women are getting flown out. We locked down, but athletes still flying chicks out, niggas losing their wives, people losing their girlfriends. Everyone is like, wait, what's going on? We're locked down. Like COVID, what's going on? It's a pandemic. So during this time, it was a lot of chaos. And what I noticed was debates. I noticed that, well, everyone has these ideas and now ideas are being challenged. I noticed this because everyone was challenging, well, why do we have to wear a mask and, you know, be 6 feet apart from one another? But like when we're walking through a restaurant, it doesn't make any sense if we're like we're sitting at the table, but then we got to put on our mask when we're walking
walk
to the
around.
restaurant. And we got to stand. All of these things just didn't make any sense.
Facts.
So everyone started to challenge these ideas. And that's what I noticed. When I noticed that, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And not only that, I'm interested in it. Yeah.
Nah, I appreciate that, because it's like you're opening up my mind to like what I can do with this channel now. And I'm like, maybe I was too limited in some of the things I was thinking about, or again, I'm starting early with getting into the political space. I had Sabs on yesterday, a leftist commentator. And that's a big goal for me in 2026, is to actually lean heavily into political space, going over pop culture stuff, which I'm going to bring up with you for sure.
Yeah.
And just becoming a more like you said, like a lot of us when we grew up, there was a lot of things that we just weren't exposed to. And I've been learning, like, as a man, there's just a whole world of knowledge and things out there that can just make you better, sharper, much more knowledgeable about how to approach conversations, debates, subject matter. And you just don't have to talk about how horrible women are, how horrible men are. Like, you can actually.
And one of the main things, you can't be afraid to look stupid. Like, that's the thing with no fugazi. Like, I'm not afraid to look dumb. Like, I've been wrong many times, but a lot of times I'm not wrong.
Listen, it's
right.
Leave it up to me. I think it's getting less and less of me being wrong personally, because what's crazy is because I know I see you do lives a lot. A lot of the people in my regular everyday life, and even people that want to pull up or whatever, I learned that like 80% of them don't read. 80% of them don't even read. So it makes it very convenient. It makes it very easy to, it does make it a little bit easier to kind of debate or have these conversations, because it's like most people that feel super passionate about this stuff, they haven't read on any of it in like a decade.
They haven't really like truly critically, thought about their ideas and challenged themselves on the things that they think and the things that they believe. And I would also say this for anyone that's out there, looking to start a podcast, since we're speaking about like my startup. One of the things that I think anyone has to do with, as far as business or anything, you got to look at the market, find a void in the market, and see where you can fit in, see where you can fill that void. So with me, like, I was very aware. I'm like, well, people doing podcasts, some of these dudes, it is what it is. Some of these women is, looking crazy, but I have a different look than most people. I'm coming on with chains. I'm wearing, I'm dressing how I normally dress. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm wearing prints of rappers on my t-shirt, Tupac on my shirt, Biggie on my shirt. And I'm doing these shows, but I'm speaking in a very intellectual way. Right. So I already knew right then and there, just from me speaking like this, but looking this way, I would be able to garner the attention of an audience that really no one hasn't tapped into. Right. And I would say that many people did tap into it, but it was still a lot of people that needed to be unlocked. You know what I mean?
I love that strategy. And every week I'm changing up, doing the exact same thing, changing up the wardrobe. And I like the fact that guys like you and myself at this point, what we're trying to do is show that we're multifaceted, where you can't just judge me by a hoodie, or because I'm wearing a suit now I'm smart, but if I'm wearing a hoodie now I'm dumb. Like, I'm the same person week in and week out, day in and day out. Right.
Yeah, man.
Now you mentioned that you noticed people were starting to wake up or starting to notice things more. What's a top conspiracy theory for you? Well, one of them.
Top conspiracy, man. A lot of things, like, a million, man. It don't be conspiracies no more, man.
Hey, a lot of good. You know what? Because it's like, I'm gonna throw out random ones to you and just tell me first things that you think of.
Yeah, go ahead.
9/11.
Not a conspiracy. There's facts on that in regards to the CIA was involved. Also, I don't do the TOS. I don't want to say certain things. I don't want to get your channel banned, man.
Foreign nation involvement.
Foreign nations was involved. A foreign nation was involved as well. And so I think that it's not really a conspiracy nowadays. It's more like we played a part in that.
Mm.
We played a huge part in that. If you look at it too,
Mhm.
the World Trade Center, I think it was about 1 or 2 months before, the destruction of it.
Mhm.
The owners took out a
Sure.
life insurance policy of, it was like billions, I believe.
Mhm.
And they went ahead and got all that money. So that was very convenient for them to do it. It was just a lot of things that didn't add up. So
Mhm.
I would
Mhm.
say not a conspiracy. It's probably, it was man-made.
Okay. Okay. Listen. That's definitely. You know what? You're right. The
What
more and
what
more
what do
we've
they
learned.
call it now? They call it false flags, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
False
Yeah. Yeah.
flags. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely will classify it as that. Moon landing.
That's a hard one. I would say that we probably didn't land on the moon.
Mhm.
Um, because I forgot what it's called, but there's a shield of, not even a shield, but there's like, I guess we can call it a shield just for, uh, since I don't have a better term right now,
Mhm.
of radiation it's very hard to get through.
The radiation
Um,
belt. Yeah.
that radiation belt, and that
Mhm.
radiation belt, I would say that, listen, man, it's a high probability that we ain't bring humans through that radiation belt to land on the moon. And what's the
Mhm.
reason to land on the moon when we can just send some drones there to take pictures and get
Mhm.
things rather than putting someone's life in jeopardy? Probably
Mhm.
not. We probably didn't land on the moon. I don't really believe that.
I I don't think we had the technology to do it back then. Personally, I don't think we were
That
calling the moon
too.
from a
The video
landline.
the
Like,
videos looked it crazy, man. The
yeah,
videos.
yeah. And finding out some of the people that were involved with it in terms of the production that were involved with Hollywood as well. And then seeing and hearing NASA people today talk about the technology that we don't have to make it through that belt, that radiation belt
That
today.
radiation belt, yeah.
So for me, that all points, and not alone the what was it, Armstrong, or one of them that was like repeatedly going back and forth about whether we actually win or not. It was just too much smoke and mirrors for me to really believe we actually did, at least back then anyway. Any others that you could think of?
Yeah, I think that was more like a publicity stunt. We had to show that we made it to the moon because we was in competition with all of these, foreign nations, Russia,
Mhm.
China, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, Let me think another conspiracy theory. I don't have anything off the top of my mind.
I think, to me, one that I'm really, really starting to pay more attention to right now, and again, it's somewhat related to the same group that was related to 9/11.
Yeah.
I think the subversion that they've been doing in westernized countries, to destabilize families, to attack masculinity, even down to what I think is probably happening with our drinking water and what's in our food, that's impacting testosterone levels, what's being pushed in terms of schools and education spaces with teaching women about this patriarchy and how they need to, deprioritize family and marriage and men and everything. I'm like, I think that that's way bigger than just some activists here. I think that there's people funding that, and
Yeah.
I think, and again, it probably isn't actually a conspiracy at all. where the more and more I learn, I'm gonna throw one out, and I hope this channel stays up when I'm about to say this. Um, and I'm gonna say it in a way to where people can pick up what I'm putting down. I think that much of what we think we knew about World War II is way off.
Yeah, I would agree with. I definitely would agree with that to an extent.
Mhm.
If we're looking at, as far as feminism and these certain movements and ideologies being pushed, those have been funded. Like
Mhm.
feminism was funded by the Rockefellers. We
Yep.
know that for sure.
Yep.
It was funded by other non-government organizations as well, in the early 1900s,
Mm.
with the suffragettes. But yeah, man, a lot of things is definitely funded.
Mm.
Even if we look at BLM, like BLM was
Mhm.
a bunch of, fat black lesbians, as some would say, the organization at least, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
And what did they do with the money? They spent it on, their self,
Mansions, apparently.
mansions and cars and, paying off their debt and things like that. But they
Mhm.
was pushing forth and getting a lot of money from people, and trying to push forth this agenda, but
Mm.
it wasn't to help out Black people at all.
Facts, facts. And just to clarify, everybody, if you're currently watching this right now, the reason why I'm not showing any comments is because no comments are showing for me on StreamYard. All the comments are showing on my phone on YouTube, but I see no comments at all but I am seeing the comments on my phone, so I am paying attention to what people are saying for sure. So again, I see over 200 people have already joined since we started talking. So please make sure that you guys like this video if you haven't, and feel free to share it to a few people. And make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't, because when I make some really big announcements later this month, I'm going to be getting everybody's emails. And when these announcements come, if you don't have the email, you may be last to find out what some of these big announcements are. Current trending topics, some stuff that I kind of been thinking about, because again, you kind of alluded to the fact that, you've gotten more into politics and stuff. One thing that was trending back in like November, December, in different points, I think in 2025, was this whole discussion about Black fatigue.
Yeah.
Obviously, it kind of retrended again when Pearl kind of brought it up, and it was like a big brouhaha for a while. What's your view about people using and describing Black fatigue on both sides of the aisle, politically and even racially?
Yeah, so Black fatigue, it's a term that has now been hijacked. The original usage of the term was to basically point out racial injustice
Mhm.
between the disenfranchised and the Black communities and things like that. So that term was then hijacked to then speak about Black people in ways where, oh, we're tired of Black people because they commit all of this crime and all of this violence.
Mhm.
So I think one is, truthfully, I think it's a psyop, because
Mm.
how can there be any Black fatigue when there's always been the same complaints from white people? The complaints haven't changed. They've been telling us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps.
Mhm.
Well, were you fatigued then? You're fatigued now. It's the same thing, the same verbiage. They're just hijacking terms. They hijacked the term woke. Remember, we had that term woke. Oh, this dude woke. Like when you start learning about, your heritage, or you're
Yep.
learning about the truths of the world, you're like, oh, this
Mhm.
brother woke right here.
Mhm.
Then
Mhm.
white people go ahead and steal that term, but it's the liberals this time. They go ahead and steal that term, and they're like, well, actually, I think the conservatives stole the term and used it against the
Conservative.
liberals.
Yeah. Yeah.
They use it against the white liberals, like, oh, well, you're for a transgender ideology. I'm not for this woke ideology, all of that type of stuff. So
Yeah.
it's just another term that was hijacked. But I would say that is normal. That's not
Mhm.
anything to be like, oh my gosh, they're hijacking our terms. What are we supposed to do? No, man, that happens all the time.
Music,
Um, with
fashion.
music
Yeah.
and things like that. And we even do the same thing with theirs as well, too.
Mhm.
Not as
Mhm.
often, but um,
I gotta see.
they
I can agree
definitely
with that.
they definitely hijack ours. So
Mhm.
as far as Black fatigue, would I say that there's truth that Black people do need to better themselves, and we do need to look in the mirror, and we should understand that Black on Black violence,
Mhm.
is not good.
Mhm.
But once again, this is a term, Black on Black violence. Like, why is this a term? Why don't they
Exactly.
say Spanish and Spanish violence?
Yep.
White on white violence, right? So they just try to
Mhm.
utilize these terms to try to shine this light on us in regards to areas in our culture where it's decaying. But
Mhm.
in all, I would say that Black fatigue is a psyop, because I thought about this too
Okay.
the other day. I'm like, if we take a step back and we look at things, right? What we got going on here, we got people like Nick Fuentes,
Mhm.
the white nationalist.
The white Mexican
Um,
nationalists. I hear you.
and we got all of these people, right? The
Uh-huh.
white nationalists. We got the white conservatives. We got the Black conservatives. We got all of these things going on, right?
Mhm.
And as far as just the whites itself, though, when you look at it, there was a huge psyop already for white people to have this white guilt. If you look back at
Mm,
school, what school did, as far as when we learned history, because they would always teach about slavery, the parts
mhm,
that they spoke about the history, well, black people, we was all we know is from growing up in public schools, man, niggas was slaves.
mhm,
White people, what they learned, well, we was whooping them niggas. We was master. What this inadvertently did was instill the victim mindset into black people,
mhm,
but it inadvertently instilled some white people would they would have the self of pride and authority, but then a lot of them it instilled this white guilt where they would feel
mhm.
guilty. And if you watch videos, I know it's true because the Hebrew Israelites would be on the street doing these things and they would influence this white person to kiss their boot.
Yeah,
Many
I've
white
seen that
people to kiss
craziness.
their boot. I'm like, "Well, how is this happening? You kissing someone's boot? What's going on to the white race?"
Listen,
It's
hold
this
on, hold
white
on.
guilt.
I'm gonna tell y'all white people right now that's watching this. If y'all watch my content, that's not reparations. So please don't ever kiss don't kiss nothing on me in any, especially my shoes. Like just, we watched it during 2020 during the George Floyd thing where they were like did the kente cloth and was taking knees and everything, and I'm like,
Yeah, man.
this is insane. You're dead right about this, and the more I think about it, it's
So
like,
to,
yeah, go ahead, go continue.
to correlate it though, what I'm
Mhm.
saying is the reason why I'm saying that it's a bit of a psyop for the black fatigue for white people in general to be speaking about this and like be so adamant about it and aggressive about it, like, oh, we're tired of black people, we're tired of this.
Mhm.
But truly, if you peel back the layer, I think that a lot of the people that have these complaints and voice these complaints so much is because they were actually psyoped by the white liberals to believe that they should feel guilty for black people. So then they
Mm.
grew up at very young ages having this guilt, but
Mhm.
then they grew out of that guilt and that guilt turned to rage, right?
Move.
And then it turned into rage where they're like, wait a minute, man, look at all of these black people and what they're doing. It's no reason. Slavery ended. I was feeling guilty for them, but now they're still acting like animals and doing all of this. There's no reason for it. Black fatigue. I'm
Mhm.
tired of these black people. So I think it's a bit
Mhm.
of some rage, but it
Mhm.
wasn't just like this didn't grow. I think this was psyop. This was planned.
Mhm. Nah, that makes sense. And again, it's happening within different respects. It's happening with men and women. It's happening within the black community amongst men and women. It's happening with different races, different ethnicities, and it's all designed to just keep us like super divided. And it's shocking to see the amount of ways that we as Americans keep falling for it. Like, why do you think we're so easily susceptible to like propaganda like this?
Yeah, man. I think that most people are susceptible. If you look at things, men are more non-agreeable than women. Men tend to disagree with things more than women.
Okay.
We tend to disagree. This is why when you look at wages, men tend to one of the reasons why men tend to earn more is because they are more willing to disagree on their wage, meaning that they're more willing
Negotiate.
to negotiate for a higher wage.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, I think that a lot of people are susceptible to this is because, well, one, women are more susceptible to being influenced. When we look at, what do the marketers and the advertisers appeal to? They appeal to women because women are more easily to influence and to buy their
Mhm.
product. So when we look at the propaganda and who's more susceptible to it, it will be the woman. But
Mm.
it won't just be the woman, it's the it's the mindset of the woman. So I think that there's a lot of men, maybe
Mhm.
raised with single mothers, didn't overcome their mindset of being raised with a woman and really haven't grown any masculinity traits yet.
Mhm.
And they take on the same susceptibility as their mother, or they take on the same susceptibility as the women around them.
Mm.
So like if you think about it, like when you're growing up with men, everything is competition based.
Yep.
We not believe in everything. We check
Mhm.
in everything. It kind of goes through a funnel with us before we like,
Facts.
okay, that makes sense. With
It
women,
does,
it's
it
more
does.
like, well, whatever the crowd is doing, I should do too. They
Mhm.
have more
Mhm.
like a of a hive mind. But In all, I would say that that's one of the reasons why we are more susceptible to propaganda than ever before. Because even if you look at the household, especially black households, I think 70% of
About
black
70%.
households are the children are being raised with single mothers without a father in a home, and
Hmm.
fathers are there to protect their children, not just from physically, but also mentally from negative influences.
Mm, Nah, man, I appreciate that. And I appreciate the fact that you parsed that out about how the men that follow a lot of the propaganda that a lot of ladies do, they oftentimes they either, for whatever reason, there's usually a lack of a male role model or presence to kind of help to make sure that they know, like, nah, sometimes you're going to have to stand on this, regardless of what the people around you and the women around you are thinking or feeling. If truth
Yeah.
is truth, and I'm realizing now I've made a statement out in the Daily Rap Crew in a couple spots that I've been recently in, and Mika and a couple other people who I've been meeting with this type of stuff. And I said at this point, based on everything that's happening in the direction of the party, I don't think there's any men currently still in the Democrat Party. I think there's males. Um, in the sense that I think that in order for you to be consider yourself a man, you have to be willing to stand on something that's true and disagree with the women around you. And I don't think that the men that are currently still self-identifying as liberals and as Democrats as of today, there's no talking point. There's no political thing that they're going to state publicly and say anything negative about all the sacred cows that falls within the spectrum of what you have to act like you agree with to vote as a Democrat. They're not going to speak on it publicly. They're afraid to. And I'm like, then how are you a man if you're scared to point out any flaws in anything happening to this party? This party is not the same party it was even 10 years ago.
Yeah, they're cowards. A lot of the men in that party, you said it perfectly. They're effeminate, and they took on characteristic traits of women.
Mm,
And when a man takes on, well, it's a male, like you said, they're not really men, they're males. They're willing
mm,
to go against their principles for money. They're willing to lose their self dignity for money or for a position. And that's all, listen, 50 Cent said something
mhm,
that was fire. He said, if how you make money is for your beauty, you likely to do some hoe stuff. You likely to do some hoe stuff, right?
mhm, mhm.
You likely to do some hoe stuff.
Yeah.
And he was speaking about women, like women basically going on OnlyFans and women in the strip club. Like if beauty is your only agency,
Yeah.
you likely to do some hoe stuff.
Mhm,
For women, if money is the what the highest value for you,
mm,
you're likely to do some hoe stuff. You're likely to go against your principles. You're likely to go against who you are. And we
mm,
see that within women, they're likely to go against who they are because they're like, oh, my beauty is my main agency. So let me just give it up there and post everything. And they're doing some
mhm,
hoe stuff. We see men, well, money is the highest virtue, the highest value. Well, how can I get this? Or I'll take this sponsor. I'll go ahead and do this. And then you see these dudes getting their wife banged for some money, creating some content. It's
Yo,
crazy.
shout out.
Dudes
What's
will
what's his name? Because he let the black bull do it,
listen. He let Black Hawk trash his wife for
bro. I can't,
money.
bro.
Make no
I can't.
sense.
I can't understand it. I can't understand it, man. Yeah, Jason Love was the boy he let get with his girl, man. I had,
Listen,
bro.
let Black Terminator turn her upside down.
Yo, what's crazy is we're in a world where men are comfortable with women showing everything to the public and still be in a relationship with them and giving them rings.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's yo. Listen, man, that's crazy work, man. It's crazy work.
bro,
Crazy work.
bro.
And I was one of the I was offered because I have a like when I was doing some content,
Uh-huh.
I was doing TikTok and stuff like that with my lady, but we would do sponsorships and things like that. It was all sponsorship based.
Mhm.
And like I was offered the bag, 7-figure contracts to do OnlyFans, to get with one of these agencies and things like that. And I turned it down because they look at it like, I guess it's like a fetish of a black guy with a white woman. Oh, you guys are perfect. You got the beard. You're tall. You got muscles. She's white, blonde, blue-eyed. This would be great. You guys will work perfect. You already got 1 million followers there. We can definitely sell you guys. We'll start the contract off 7 figures. We'll go ahead and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm not interested. So I would never sell my soul to the devil. That's crazy, bro. But most people would in that situation.
Honestly, 20 years ago, I might have disagreed with you. Today, with how I was normalized and the things I see, and we can't even get to the pandering males. Actually, we could jump to that next. The content creators that are men that are pandering to women, and telling women what they want to hear. Hey, what are your thoughts about those type of guys?
So I've debated a few of them already and fully obliterated them. If you want to go ahead and check out my debates on No Fugazi.
Like recently it was what was his name? Public Offender, I think. Who else?
So I debated a lot of them. I debated Yada. I debated Public Offender. I debated Truth. I debated this other guy. I debated Mr. Let Go. I went on tonight's conversation and fully demolished the entire panel, had 3 grown men crying. So yeah, like I already dealt with these individuals. And what I would say is most of them are gay. Closeted homosexuals.
Bruh. Okay. Please repeat that.
Homosexuals, they gay. A lot of them is gay. Yeah. So a lot of them is gay. Now, I ain't gonna name any names, but a lot of them is gay. The ones that aren't gay, we basically, in my worldview, I would still consider them to be gay. Like, if you are appealing, like, I don't know if they're like literally gay, but in my worldview, all of them are definitely gay, because if you are like, it makes no sense. In the oldest texts, you got biblical scriptures. It tells you certain things, and it makes clear distinctions of the order of life in men and women, right? Like even if you look in biblical scriptures, it says things like, for man did not come from woman, but woman from man. Neither was man created for woman, but woman for man. Why are you pedestalizing this chick? She was created for you, nigga. She served you. What's going on with you? And that's looking at the Torah, that sense. So a very, very old scripture. I'm not speaking about the New Testament or anything like that. So it's giving clear distinctions of men and women, and those type of individuals, they pedestalize women so they can feel worthy. It's for self-worth, right? Yeah. And not only that, they're afraid to go against the grain. So they adopted the nature and behaviors and characteristic traits of the women, because women like to go along to get along. That's women's nature. Oh yeah, I'll go along to get along. I don't want to ruffle anyone's feathers. And debating these people and being around them for a short amount of time, that's what I witnessed. They're very sensitive. You can't really joke with them. Like all my homies and my friends, we crack jokes. Listen, you're not safe around me. Right? You ain't safe. Like if you my homie, my close friend, you're not safe. We always making fun of one another. And I mean like where it hurt, like I'm actually trying to hurt you. Like that's what you had to earn your stripes. You gotta earn your stripes. Like the jokes is gonna hurt to a degree. And listen, I want you to dish it out as well, because I want to take it. So a lot of these dudes is feminine, and they never. And you know what? I don't know if you ever played any sports, but
yeah, I played a few.
Played a few sports. Sports like football, basketball, these physical sports, right? I would say football and like wrestling a little bit more physical. But I did football, basketball, wrestling, boxing, right? And we always could parse out who's like the panty boy out of the group. It's very simple. Like if the dude that's whining, complaining, always going to the coach, he can never take a joke. He's sensitive. He's the first one to cry during practice. He's the first one to leave during practice. Like, bro, your mom not even here. Why you waiting outside? You don't want to chill with us? Like he always, and he not, this, it's not like he's socially awkward or nothing. He just don't know how to communicate around boys, right? Because of boys, and when you grow up from a boy, you become a man. We still have that same nature to a degree where we're going to joke around. We're going to test you. Like if I meet you and I shake your hand, I'm going to shake your hand hard. It's going to be a hard handshake. Tough, hard handshake, right? And even if you look at certain things, not to bring Trump into this, but it's funny because I watched the video the other day. I didn't notice it, but someone just like posted it. And it was saying like every time Trump shakes someone's hand, he shakes their hand, but he pulls them in. It's like a little, it's like a little authority thing. Like, yeah, this is my space around here. You came in my space right here. Respect this. So, you know, betas may not understand that. They may think like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? Like life isn't that serious, bro. Like it's not that. And you know what? The people that think life isn't that serious, they have the mind of the woman, because what do women always think about? I just want to have fun. I kind of want to escape the seriousness. I want to just have fun and not worry about, you know, just, you know, all of the bills and the things that I have to do. That's the woman's mindset. So when men say that, oh, bro, it ain't that serious, bro. Like, come on, bro. No, things are that serious. And I think men need to act accordingly and understand that life is very serious, because you are on this world to protect them, to provide people. If you don't have a family, then you're in this world to be in service to other people. If you're not protecting and providing for your own family, and really the only way you can do that is by being in service to other people, producing something. If you're working a 9 to 5, or if you created your own business, how does any businesses work? All businesses are in service to people, right? That's all it is. Like right now on this podcast, you're providing a service. You got me up here. I'm giving game to the audience. We talking, we chopping it up. This is the service that's being provided. And men need to understand that, no, it's serious, man. It's you got two options. You build a family, you protect and provide. And the only way you do that is by being in service. Or if you don't have a family, whatever route you want to go, then you still have to be in service to someone.
Nah, bro.
What's the purpose? Like, are you a chick? You think that the world revolves around you? Like, what's going on? No, help out people.
There was I have the like when I view the panderer / simp commentators as pandering to women, and specifically, I usually have them in either 2 or 3 different categories. You do have the ones that is really just through the lens of they see women as suckers. So they know women will support anybody that tells them what they want to hear, and they just see it as a cash cow. I'm gonna sell tickets. I'm gonna get the subscriptions. I'm gonna get these ladies to pay for all this stuff. And in the end, their lives don't even change. They're just using it as using women as a means to an end. The second category is the ones you kind of alluded to. These are the ones that, for whatever reason, couldn't really connect and get along well with a lot of other men. And they feel like they were better able to be accepted amongst women. And then the third, and a huge section of those type of men just happen to be either very effeminate or gay as well. But there's one more category of guys. And I've been thinking about this for a while, that there are men that are approaching engaging and interacting with women and pandering to them strictly off the lens because they peaked late. And what I mean by that is guys that had access to women when they were younger, maybe when they were teens, early 20s, maybe even, late 20s or whatever. The guys that kind of peaked really, really late and are now getting all this female attention, the absolute last thing they want to do, and they were so used to so long not getting that attention, is say anything to lose it. Yeah. So like the guys that peak late, they're not used to getting all this female attention when they were 21 years old and 24 years old or 19 years old. So now that I'm making some money, maybe I filled out my body, maybe I'm looking a little better, and now I got this platform and women are throwing themselves at me and following me and reaching out to me. It's like they were so not used to that for so long, to where it's now they'll do anything to maintain and hold on to that position of attention from women. And I think these are guys that just peak super late, and you see it because they're doing the most. They're all the extra over the top compliments, always throwing men under the bus. You a queen, you a this, you a that. He don't believe this stuff, right? It's the fact that you peak so late that any female attention is now at the top of the pecking order of like the most important thing in your life. And I think those are like the different categories of like sympatry that I've kind of observed and noticed after this point.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's definitely a degree of, of all of that, of what you said. There's also a degree of, if you look at it, like a lot of these men that pander to women,
Mhm.
if we're being honest, I think that that was most men, or if not almost all men at some point in their life
Yeah, when we were young. Yeah.
when we were young, right?
Mhm.
And I think that some people just have such a low IQ where they can't grasp and make clear distinctions of things. So
Mhm.
they keep viewing men and women as being equal.
Mhm.
Like there's certain social constructs that people just don't have the mental IQ to break loose of.
Mm.
They don't have the ability to think outside that box. Like feminism is a is a social construct. It's not real.
Mhm.
So the idea that things men and women should be equal and the
Mhm.
movement towards egalitarianism, these are just ideas. And I think that many men, even if they make money or if they're broke, they just really haven't like matured mentally out of those ideas.
Mm.
So sometimes, yeah, you're right. They can be doing it just to pander to the woman, even though they don't believe it. But I also think that it's a huge portion of men that are just dumb. They're dumb and they don't get it. They think that,
Mhm.
listen, they don't have the mental ability to overcome the social constructs of feminism
Mhm.
and the indoctrination of feminism, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So then they just tend to continue to go along with it.
And they don't think long term. They think in short term gratification. In the immediate moment, the women in front of me are happy with me, so I'm going to keep doing and saying this thing that I'm doing or saying. And they don't realize when everybody's complaining about this, the quality of the dating market, and everybody's complaining and saying the dating market is trash, the dating pool is trash, and the men ain't this and the women ain't that. If you never challenge women, you're convincing some women that aren't good women that all their problems relationally are men.
Yeah.
And hearing a man say that to them confirms the bias they're using that's contributing to the very dating pool we're talking about.
Yeah. No.
Panderers are half the reason why. Simps and panderers are literally half the reason why all the things we're talking about is happening. Because if it was less of them, women would have less options unless they were willing to change their behaviors. But a woman can say out loud, if you want another man will, and she means it. Because there's something now, it may not be the man she want, it may not be the man she would love to be spend the rest of her life with, but there is a man that will pay, will do, will tolerate. And I'm like, those of y'all that's doing these short-term moves, like there's a reason why things are so bad. And like y'all,
And
I don't know.
they suffer the consequences of it too. They
Mm,
feel the negative effects of that. Like if you're gonna pander to a woman
mhm.
and you have no backbone, well, you're gonna feel the negative consequences of that when that woman takes advantage of you. Like women cannot respect the man that can't put his foot down in a relationship.
Right,
She just can't respect
right.
it. Like women, they're incapable of respecting a man that is pedestalizing them.
Cannot, like, you got to
They
remember,
can't
fella,
do it.
she is looking down on you when you put her above you. I don't know why y'all don't get this. If you
Yeah.
put her in a elevated, you're not even looking at her eye to eye with the way that y'all talk and act. Y'all are putting her up here where she could do, say anything, and of course she's going to lose respect for you. And the crazy part is these dudes will give their last all, and then dudes who just have a more normal viewpoint of male female leadership, I'm not going to take your disrespect. And then you hear these women that say, oh, I love when a man checks me, I love when a man can kind of get me in my and get me in order and also this stuff. And it's like these are the men they cheat with.
Yeah, not only that, the reason why those women say that, oh, I love a man that can check me and get me in line.
Mhm.
Well, you love that man. You were checked before, but you couldn't keep that man because that's the
Mm.
truth. They were with that man. They got checked. They got put in their place. They met that masculine man that put them in a place, and they're like, "Oh, I felt comfortable. I felt safe. I felt in my true feminine essence here." But that man just piped you down, and then he disposed of you because you really didn't qualify for him, right? You just got him based off of the way you look, not who you are in the inside. So, yeah, it's it's a bit of that too, man.
And it's unfortunate, man. And so two more questions because I don't want to hold you too long, bro.
You good, man.
Interracial relationships. I typically bring this up. I'm married now, and my wife is Black, for those that don't know. But my previous relationship actually was with a Belarusian who, for those who don't realize what people that look like from Belarus, she looked white. And
nigga, she was white.
Yeah. Well, listen, the same way I view hold on, hear me out. The same way I view that there's a clear, distinct difference between Africans and Black Americans, foundational Black Americans.
Okay, I feel what you're saying. You're making a distinction.
Yeah. She's still white at the end of the day, but I don't view American white and whites from other countries, especially if they came from the other country.
Yeah, true.
She did, right? And Dr. Umar and many others, especially a lot of Black women, they get really passionate about the topic surrounding like interracial relationships and whether they think it's right or wrong and who's a sellout and all this other stuff. What's your view about like interracial relationships and people's arguments against it?
Yes, I'll get into that. I did want to make a comment on the last thing that you said though too, because I know you got a fairly decent male audience in here as well. When we were speaking about leadership and the hierarchy dynamic between men and women, the fellas that's looking at this and that's gonna watch, you're dumb. You're dumb if you are putting the woman into the position to have full authority over you. She has the last word. Everything is her way or the highway. Bro, it makes no sense. The chick, can she beat you in a fight? like think about this. Like, do she got hands, bro? Like, can she fight? Like, how does she have authority over you? Generally speaking, men are taller, men are much stronger than women. So most relationship dynamics, the man is physically superior than a woman. 99.9% of the time, the man is physically stronger, but this woman is taking charge. She's leading you. And it's because most of these dudes are incompetent. They're incompetent and they're incompetent and are inadequate. And women see this, and what women do is they'll manipulate the man by using his inadequacies against him. That's all they do. But she has every right to do that because you're a dork. Like, for the guys that's in the chat, if you watching, man, if you pedestalizing a woman, don't do it, man. It makes no sense. You're physically superior than a woman. Women do not want a man. Like, think about it. They want the man to be taller, stronger, make more money. They want all of these things. So they're looking for a superior. They're looking for someone to lead them. So become that. And it's not all about money either. You can still lead a woman in a relationship, even if she's making more. Now, I don't recommend it. It'll be a little harder for you to lead it, but you can definitely lead that woman in the right direction. And she can fully follow your authority, but it'll just be a little more harder for you to do it. But you're still capable. It's still capable of being done. So it ain't all about the bread.
I listen, I agree with that. I've done it personally, and me and my wife, the way our careers are going, we fluctuate depending on who's bringing in what right now until I can tell her one day you can officially retire. And I feel good about it. But that was a big thing I had to pay attention to with establishing this relationship. Is watching to see how she is once she started making real money. And seeing that didn't change her dynamic in terms of how she saw me, how she treated me, how she viewed me as a man and leader. And I was like, oh, okay, then we can build.
You can say that's a woman.
The dummies are the ones, believe to me, the dummies are the ones who put themselves in a position where they're handling everything, but they pedestalize her. And then when things go south, you're screwed. And I'm like, I understand both dynamics and risk. There's a risk if you're going to be a solo provider. There's going to be a risk if you doing both y'all bringing income. There's going to be a risk. There's going to be a risk if she's making all the money. So there's going to be risk, and I definitely wanted to ask, and we'll touch back on the interracial thing in a
Yeah,
second.
we'll get to the white chicks, chat. One second.
Related to what we're just now talking about, marriage today. From your vantage point, having been in this space, the content space, some people may be seeing you as a member of the manosphere to some degree. For men in general, especially in the States, is marriage, in your opinion, still worth it?
Yeah, I would say that marriage is a beautiful thing, and marriage is still worth it. But I'll make a clear distinction between what I'm speaking about. So there's no true benefit for a man to get married by the state.
Mm,
He would, if you are going to do it, I would recommend a prenup.
mhm,
Um, but getting married by the church is still a beautiful thing, right? So I think that that's good. Yeah,
mhm, mhm.
I
Yo,
think
so
it's
basically
still
religious or ceremonial marriage, but not through the state.
religious, ceremonial. That's the marriage that I would recommend. Through the state, I'll recommend it, but have a prenup.
Mm,
But
mhm,
even if you look at it, right? So from a secular perspective, like it really makes no sense for, secularists to get married. But
mhm,
that's just from my vantage point. But from a religious perspective, from a Christian perspective, marriage right now is not, I would say that it isn't like getting married by the state right now. It isn't,
mhm,
what's the word? It isn't biblical, I would say, because what it does is the woman is in a position where she has a lot of authority and she
mhm,
can appeal to authority. So,
mhm,
based off how she feels, she can go ahead and divorce you.
mhm,
Prior to no fault divorce, based off how she feels, she couldn't go ahead and divorce you. Through
mhm,
a church, how things were in the past, you couldn't just go ahead and divorce your man, and the man couldn't go ahead and divorce his woman based off how
mhm,
he felt. No, it had to be a legitimate reason for the divorce to happen. And prior to that divorce happening, some
mhm,
counseling would take place due with the priest or the church congregation and things like that. You'll get some help there. It'd be a middleman to help bridge that gap and
mhm.
work out your differences.
With
Um,
an agenda or a mindset of trying to get you towards restoration. And me being a mental health therapist, I've been kind of claiming in an era where marriage is very, it's not what it used to be. A lot of people aren't seeking it anymore, and a lot of divorces have happened. We have a culture of people that are mental health experts or professionals who have such a low view of men in marriage, to where even when people are going through relationship issues, they're being seen and serviced by therapists and women who are misandrous or far extreme feminists who just don't see the significant. Like they'll be like, "Girl, the most important thing is your happiness." And there's always, it's going to be greener on the other side. And seeing and what witnessing person after person after person,
yeah.
and I'm realizing it now, where it's like you could push marriage all you want, but if your marriage is in trouble, or if your relationship's in trouble, and the people you're going to doesn't even have a significant high value in it, I could see a scenario. It's the amount of men that's been telling me on DMs and comments and emails, and they said, "Bro, this is the first time I did a therapy session where I felt like somebody was willing to listen to me and not just my wife or girlfriend." And they said, "We've gone." I literally had a couple last week said they've been through 4 or 5 different therapists.
Purpose.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, the amount of relationships and marriages has probably been wrecked and destroyed, not just because they were going through relationship issues, but because they're surrounded by people who don't see value in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
No, that's true. I on my dating and relationship show that I do, and I bring on a bunch of girls.
mhm,
I tend to ask the question, um, what would you choose? Happiness over your family, or your family over happiness? And what I've
mm,
learned, that most women on the panel, and I had over 800 girls on the panel, but a lot of women that answer that question, not all, but a lot,
mhm,
they tend to choose their happiness over their family, right?
mhm,
They tend to prioritize how they feel. They look at their feelings at top is the highest thing that they value. So, well, if I don't feel like my feelings are, if my feelings aren't with this man, then I need to go somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah.
Women
I've literally,
tend
yeah,
to only be loyal to how they feel,
yeah.
truthfully.
I literally said, you saying it word for
Generally
word.
speaking.
Yeah,
Generally speaking.
yeah.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, and I've claimed it again and again and again that generally speaking, and even a lot of women, when we kind of talk it through, they kind of acknowledge like the reason why they're not with the men that they were with in the past is because they felt differently. And I was like, that's that's kind of what I'm talking, especially if you're the initiator of all the breakups. We're getting to a point where it's like a lot of you are making, if you ever want to know why a lot of men don't find marriage appealing anymore, is because they believe that a lot of ladies are not loyal to men. They're loyal to their feelings about the man.
Yeah, and this is one of just another reason, which is why women shouldn't leave relationships, because women are
Mm,
higher in trait neuroticism, which means
mhm,
that they feel more negative emotions than a man per unit of situation. They're
mm,
higher in estrogen, so they are experiencing multitudes of different emotions, and also they wake up. They're on a cycle, so they wake up a
mhm.
different person sometimes. Like, God dang, I thought I was in the bed with Kelsey, Kimberly, Brittany. Who are you now? I don't know who you are. So like,
Bro, hold on. Pause what you just said, bro. The neuroticism, and the other stuff that you said, it's
yeah,
amazing. This is my field. And I've been saying this, quoting it, and you've had PhDs and psychologists and all these experts saying he don't know what he's talking about. He's a fraud. And I'm like, y'all
I
know y'all could
debate
go
some of
read
them.
this up, right?
Yeah, I
Yep.
debate some of them, man. They're dumb. Yeah, they're dumb. The research is out there. Women
Yeah,
are different than men. So
yeah, we're
this is
different.
why women aren't built to be in leadership positions. And it's not to say that there
Mm,
are that there isn't effeminate men out there that they,
mhm,
don't have a lot of negative emotions and stuff like that. But we know where those people are anyway. A lot of
mhm,
those men are in prison. A lot of those men are doing degenerate things because they feel so negative about their life and things like
mhm.
that. So this
I've
is just
always felt, now to clarify, I've always felt like women can be leaders in certain areas, especially when it's delegated. The problem is when they think that they can lead in all areas, in areas that really does require there's certain things that I think leadership is more, it's not that big a deal. You just happen to be the head of whatever we're deciding to do, and there's a little
or like a
delegation.
company or something like that, you
Yeah,
mean?
but then there's other times where it's like you have to be the person that makes the hard decision. You have to be disagreeable. You have to be willing to make the hard decisions. And a lot of ladies struggle with that. And it does appear to be something that's a little bit more normative for a lot of men and males. So yeah, man, it's I appreciate the fact that you're pointing this stuff out, because when I've said it, people be like, man, he's a fake therapist. He ain't real. He just making up science. And I'm like, well, first of all, y'all don't even know my theoretical model
Yeah.
and why I'm pulling from different theoretical models to come up with a comprehensive view of recommendations of how I see these things. And you're just quoting it like you clearly be reading, looking up on this stuff, because I'm like, this is stuff that I've been knowing for
Yeah.
like 5, 8 years now.
Listen, man, men or women are just different. Even
Mhm,
if you look at like aggression levels, like men, we're aggressive,
mhm,
but due to indoctrination, they like to say, well, men are more aggressive than women. Women aren't really that aggressive. No, they're
mm,
just as aggressive. They just
mhm.
display and express their aggression differently. Like
Yep.
men, when we're mad, we'll express it outwardly, take something, throw it at the wall. Women, so basically men, we express it more in a physical sense. Women,
Yes.
they express it more in a gossip, innuendo, and character destruction
Character
sense.
assassination.
This
Yep.
is why you see things with the Me Too movement, a lot of these false allegations on men.
Mm,
They're doing this to ruin his reputation because, well, maybe he smashed and he don't really like her no more, or he wasn't trying to pay for this. So it's like,
mhm,
oh, you put me in this situation, I'm going to
mhm,
ruin your reputation.
mhm.
So that is very aggressive, right?
Yeah,
But we
yeah.
just act
It's
out
not treated
our
the same.
aggression differently.
Even their physical aggression isn't seen or taken the same because of the strength discrepancy. So it's
Yeah.
like the way that the
Statistics
law treats it, the
Statistics
sentencing,
even show due to domestic violence, women tend to be the aggressor.
the initiator.
the initiator and the aggressor when it comes to domestic violence, but men, we finish it once. Like, even if the woman initiates it, you put your hands on the chick. Listen, bro, you're going to jail. I don't recommend it. Don't do it. We're not a believer in abusing women over here, but women tend to initiate it more often than men. That's what at least what the stats show.
Facts. So picking back on the interracial relationship piece, what's your thoughts about it?
Yeah, man, I have no problem with interracial relationships. I think that when we look at race, I think that a lot of people is fixated on lower level thinking. Race isn't that important at all. There's more to human beings than just race. So much more to us. It's our values. It's our goals. It's our beliefs. It's how we act and how we treat one another. Race itself would be not that important at all. So as far as culturally and how it's looked at amongst, our culture and in our society in America, you got the Dr. Umars out there, which I think is funny. Like all of that is super, super funny. Homie gets exposed where he's not even taking care of his children, and he was basically a fraud, didn't have a business, but that news is already out there. I'm not saying anything that people don't know, but you can have an ideology and be against interracial dating, but I would ask the person, what's more problematic? If you are a father or a mother or a sister or a brother, and your sibling or child, you see that they're in a relationship with girl A, she's a white girl. This white girl comes from a nuclear family, good background, father in a life, doing pretty good, head on her shoulder. She's not out there wilding and going to the clubs and stuff like that. Or woman B, she's black. She has the same race as you, but she didn't come from any nuclear. She's raised in a single mother home. She have no fatherly guidance. She's a little bit more rambunctious, outspoken, a little bit more non-compliant, a little bit more aggressive, a little rough around the edges. Which woman do you think would be a better candidate for your son?
Obviously the first one.
Obviously the first one, right? So therefore, there's more to us than just the outside, the skin, the ethnicity. There's more to it as far as what's on the inside, the values that we have to bring to the table. And then we also have to look at it like, because when I grew up, right, because I'm dating a white woman, right? White as can be, blonde hair, blue eye, Becky, white. It's not to say that
blonde hair, blue eyed.
It's not to say that I didn't date black girls. No, those type of individuals are weird. So if you're a black man and you only date outside your race and you're like, oh, I don't want to date no black girl, then you're suffering from it can be some type of self-hate. Something's wrong there.
I'd agree with that.
Be wrong there.
Yeah.
But if it's just the case where it's based off of your demographic, like in my demographic where I was raised, there was always more white people. Like, being raised. So I was raised in really the first attractive white girl I've ever seen. I'll take you down memory lane. It was when I moved out to PA.
Okay.
Prior to then, it was white girls in middle school, but there was buns. Like, and not only that, my ideology back then was like, man, like white people just, yes, I don't know. I guess it wasn't really no attraction because I guess I didn't come across a lot of them. But then when you change areas, all you see is the snow bunnies and you see less of your other race. So it also goes based off your demographic. It's not to say that I think that a lot of people, when they are dating outside their race, it's not because like they have like this, the white girl is like, has this weird fetish with black people, or the black guy has like this weird fetish with white people and he doesn't want to date his race. I think the majority of it, based off the demographics, listen, man, he was able to find someone that can get on his program.
Yeah.
And that woman just happened to be Spanish. Or something like that, right? So
it's usually when he's ready and the woman that's in front of him, and if they connect. It's like it happens all the time. And when he was ready, were the women around him wanting him? Because I recognize that a lot when it comes to black men specifically. A lot of ladies wait till he succeeded. They wait till he's accomplished a lot, and they didn't want him before he did that.
Oh yeah, black girls don't like dorks. So if you was a dork growing up, look, you getting no play from none of the black chicks. If you wasn't cool, you wasn't getting no
Mhm.
play from the black women. That's just how it is, right? They're
A
gonna be
lot,
like,
a
yeah,
lot, a lot.
a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
them. They're
yeah.
like, yeah, I'm not. You a square. I'm not gonna date you. Like, why you
Mhm.
got no swag? Why you don't? Why you not? You wearing your Jordans all wrong. Like you laced them up wrong. I'm not attracted to you. Like,
Yeah,
you feel
man.
what I'm saying? Black girls, women in general are picky, but black girls like you got on the wrong shoes, nigga. Nah, you don't qualify. And
Yo, the
those
pop
black
the
boys,
balloon.
listen, the black boys, the black men that really didn't like they wasn't cultured and they didn't understand, then
Mhm.
he wasn't bagging no black chicks.
Yeah,
So that
and it
would be
was, and
true.
I've said it, bro. Like they may have tried in their teens and 20s to try to connect and reach out to, and then what's wild is when he does more and other women jump the line or start showing the attention to him that y'all wasn't, or what's worse, in college, a lot of these Asian, white, and Hispanic women started showing the traits and sound like what it is. I think what's happening is a lot of the non-black women, especially the ones that go to American universities, there's some switch that happens about sophomore, junior year transition. A lot of them go into partying when they first come in. And then after about year two, you start seeing the ladies that was in the party scene kind of getting locked down by, a certain guy or whatever. And what I think they're doing is I have my fun. Now it's time to get serious. And before I leave here, I need to leave with a guy that I could project out that he's going to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, I'm literally watching our sisters. We're seeing it on the Pop the Balloon challenge every day, where they're the reasons why they're disqualified. These guys are engineers. These guys have these trades where they're making 200-300K, and they're like, oh, I need a guy with a degree, ma'am. You could stay home now with what he's making. Like, and it
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
and it's fat. And then what's wild is they don't want him while he's still building and becoming. And then when he does, and another woman gave him a chance a little bit earlier, sooner, you waiting at the finish line and then judging him for the woman that's there, that could have been you.
Yeah, most women want a man that's already built. That doesn't matter the skin color, white, black,
Very-
Hispanic. They would prefer a man that's already built. But yeah, man,
But there's
you're
ones
right.
that's so strategic where the ones in college that try to leave with the diploma and the ring, they're the ones that I can see they have that different mindset. And then those who didn't have that mindset, especially post college age, now y'all all competing for this small pool of men.
Yeah.
And if you've been judging men for all this superficial stuff, I can't imagine what else is probably problematic with like their behavior, their attitude, personality. I'm like, if this is the type of things you're judging men off of, I already know you probably gonna have some problems. You
Yeah,
probably
man, women tend to make poor choices. They don't have the ability to discern, to make good judgment, generally speaking. This is why they need
also
some
you don't
type
believe
of
in women's intuition.
masculine guidance. No, there's no such thing as women's intuition. That's fairy tale land. That's fairy tale land. Y'all be getting these chicks on my podcast. They were like, I'm intuitive, I'm this and this. And they be like having rocks and stones and into the spiritual magic and all of this. And I just
Uh,
be debunking their claims and defeating their points and their arguments one
uh,
by one. It's
I've
very simple
never, I've
because
never
you can
understood that.
the whole like so it's so funny like
Mhm,
women claim to be intuitive. But when you
mhm,
think about intuitive, when I guess we can Google the word,
mhm.
um, get a definition. I guess the chat will if you Google the word. Google it for me. What is it?
Yeah. I'm about to look it up now.
Let's break it
Intuitive.
down and we'll go through it.
Well, intuition meaning the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. A thing that one knows or considers likely from instinctive feeling rather than from conscious reasoning.
Got it right.
Mhm.
So I think some people mistake intuition with pattern recognition.
Mm.
So I think that a lot of people would be like, "Oh, I'm intuitive," but maybe you've experienced some things. It built up a pattern. You
Mhm.
experience these type of men built up a pattern. These men play games, don't really get me what I want. you experience these type of, you had all of these experiences and you built up a pattern recognition, and now you're living through life and you think that you're Neo from the Matrix dodging bullets. No, you've built up some pattern recognition like we all did, and you see the red flags, and so you're disqualifying this guy, and maybe you see some good flags, but you really don't, you're not utilizing any logic. To a degree you are being logical in a sense, but you're really not utilizing logic. And I think that women tend to lack logic because what they do prioritize and what they appeal to even more than logic and reason and even pattern recognition, they tend to appeal to their feelings first. So it's based on how they feel. So then they think that pattern recognition and my feelings, since I'm appealing to that, they'll mistake it and think that it's intuitive.
Everybody in your past can be a narcissist, and you have intuition.
A lot of people are not intuitive, because look at that definition. If you truly adhere to that definition, that's some spiritual God type of Jesus put the Holy Spirit on you and you got knowledge without no knowledge being there.
Yeah, it's a level of wisdom that you're applying to a situation in real time. It's almost instinctual.
It's almost instinctual. And it's subconscious. You're not even aware that you're doing it. It's a subconscious. Your mind is moving in a subconscious way, and you're acting that way.
And it's supposed to be protective. And I'm like, the amount of drama and trauma that everybody's claiming that they're going through. And I'm like, well, how many baby daddies, how many abortions do you got to go through before y'all realize that maybe your intuition ain't what you think it is? Or at least you ain't got it. Like,
all you do is got to look at women's outcomes, and you'll see that, well, you're not really that intuitive, because you kept getting smashed by Tyrone. You want a relationship from him. He doesn't want a relationship from you. So then you go to Mike, but you only use Mike for your ego. You can control Mike. Mike is simp. He been in your DMs for a lot, and you get some type of self-worth by taking this attention from Mike, because you waiting on the attention from Tyrone, but you can't get it. So you go to Mike so you can feel secure inside.
Bro,
but then you go ahead and get rid of Mike. There's no more Mike. You're like, man, I grew resentment for Mike. I can't respect him. And also you was talking back to Mike in Walmart, probably slapped him in Walmart a few times. So then you go on to Nick. And Nick, he piping you down again. And he almost reminds you of Tyrone. And now you like, oh, wait, I think this the one. But no. Nick went ahead and did the same thing Tyrone did to you, because you don't qualify, you're unworthy. So a lot of women, they don't know how to make good judgment. So they find themselves in relationships that are very similar. And it's a cycle of repeating and going after the same type of men, where they need some fatherly guidance, because women attraction triggers are very complex, right?
Yeah.
It's what they're attracted to and what they're aroused by. Yep. They can be attracted to you. They can see a good guy. Oh, this guy, he's nice. He has a good job. He's great, but he just doesn't. I'm not aroused by. I'm not aroused by Kenny. I don't know. But the guy who they are aroused by are the bad guys, the guys that have the dark triad traits, right? Yeah, the guys that can put their foot down, the guys that's a little mysterious, that's hard to figure out. Those guys arouse them, so they go after those guys. But those guys are only good for short term. They're not good for long term. This is why they need their father, a brother, someone to source out that guy to be like, yeah, nah, this isn't the one.
A male influence that's not attracted to them and wants nothing from them.
Exactly.
Because, and again, like you said, a lot of us are growing up without fathers, especially the ladies. And if that's the case, it's not enough. You have to identify older male or a male role model or family member or somebody who there's clear lines of communication that they're not interested in you, and that's not a line they're ever going to cross. And he's not afraid to lose the relationship by telling you the truth. That's what you're going to hear. That's what you're going to get put on game. Every other man that's interested in you will always have a reason potentially for why it is. So will tell you what you want to hear.
Yep.
So intuition or not, like, the reality is, and you said it, and I've tried to say this before when I was talking to other people about it, you could claim intuition and astrology and all this other stuff. I get to look at your outcomes.
Yeah. And not only that, women just think that they special. Like, yo, they be thinking that they so special. Like, chick, you're not that special. Like, they
Uh,
think just because they have a vagina and
mhm.
they never been told no, and most men tell them yes, uh, they think that they're special. No, most dudes that that's even in your DMs asking to hang out a lot, they're gonna treat you like Tyrone too. They're gonna smash and dash too. So
And
most
they
dudes
running
just
down their
want to smash.
DMs, sending it to 20 other women as well.
Like,
Good
chick,
morning, beautiful.
you was just a copy and paste message. You not that special. Most of the guys that see your DMs, it was copy and paste. He did this to 50 other chicks.
Grand Rising Queen. Like, it's so true. You know what's funny? I hope at some point this year, man, I get to come on your one of your panels, what you be doing when you do your in-person stuff.
Yeah, man,
Because
we'll set it
you
up
be
for sure.
yeah, you be cooking, man. So one last question, bro. Pros and cons of dealing with single parents, men and women, single mothers, single fathers. And the reason why I'm asking this is because I'm actually planning on doing an episode on this pretty soon. But I
Yeah.
wanted to hear your viewpoint and thoughts about what's the pros and cons of getting into that type of arrangement right now.
Yeah, so if you're a man dating a single, well, first let's start with the women. Do we got to start with women?
It don't matter.
Nah, they got so many options anyway. Forget it. Let's go with men.
Okay.
If you're a man, it wouldn't be in your best interest if you don't have any kids to date a single mother.
Mm,
Reason being is because you're in a position where you have hardly any authority, but you have a lot of the responsibility. So
mhm,
you are responsible of protecting and providing her and her child, but you really don't have any responsibility to discipline that child. So your main masculine role that you should be adhering to, you can't even act that out because if you're
mm,
dating a woman with, generally speaking, right? If you're dating one of these single moms and you don't have a kid, she's gonna be like, no, that's my child. Don't put your hands on my
mhm,
child. Don't talk to my child that way. So you're in a position where it's very simpery. It's not a position that any man should be in, generally
mm,
speaking.
mhm,
Um, Even if you're a man and you have children and you're dating a woman with children, it's still not in your that listen,
mhm.
put it like this. If you're a man dating in general, it needs to be a competition to who's gonna win that, who's gonna win the race at the finish line. Don't just choose the first girl that gives you attention and try to
Yeah,
wife her up
yeah,
because you have nothing to measure her to.
I agree with
Right
that. I
now,
agree.
if she is a good girl
Uh-huh.
and you have all your faculties, she has good values, good traits, good characteristics, then okay, all right, you found a unicorn, right? Good for
Uh-huh.
you. But most unicorns don't really exist. They're hard to come by.
Yeah.
So most men aren't coming by those women anyway. So
Mhm,
you're going to be dealing with a woman and if you don't have any options, well, you still need to get your little meat wet because men are horny. So they
mhm,
tend to go ahead and just, oh, well, this girl is giving me attention. Let me go ahead and wipe this up. Or I don't get any attention from all of these other girls. I only get it from this woman that has kids. Let me go ahead and wipe this up.
mm.
So you're doing it because you really don't have any options. And if you're doing things because you don't have any options because it's like out of like need, then listen, you're probably not doing it for the right reasons,
And you'll
right?
miss red flags by operating out of scarcity like that.
Yeah, you're
Right.
operating out of scarcity. You'll look away at a lot of red flags just because she got a fat waist and a small waist and you get to eat the kids fruit snacks every now and then.
Listen, so
It'd be good.
yeah,
Listen, man, listen, I
yeah.
know the fruit snacks and the juicy juices be good. Listen, I love single moms. I got nothing against the single moms.
Mhm,
Back in the days, I used to date single moms and date other women that didn't have any kids too. One
mhm.
of the pros is when you date, and at least for dating, listen, bro, you're gonna get a meal out of them quick because they cooking. They on a normal scheduled program and they cooking for the kids. So you
Right.
definitely finna to get a meal out of maybe like the first 2 weeks of even
Listen, if
even
that's if
talking
she's a
to her.
listen, that's if she's a good mother. You gotta start with that because
That's if
not
she's
all
a good
women
mom.
wanna cook now. Now,
That is true. That is
right?
true.
And
But if she's a good
and yeah,
if
yeah.
she's a good mom,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna get a little meal out of her. You're gonna get some fruit snacks, a little juicy juice. We can say
Mhm.
maybe that's a pro, but that ain't really a pro, nigga. You talking to the chick to get a little benefit of a juicy juice and a fruit snack. That's weird. Why are you doing that anyway?
Facts,
Um,
facts.
but I would say that so generally speaking, a man dating a single mom, one of the pros would be that, well, if you have kids and like you're not a father that sees your kid on twice a month, but you have your child full time, it's a benefit there because
She's already a mom.
she's already a mom and she understands she's on a schedule. If she's a good woman and a good mom, she's on a schedule of taking care of her child, waking up at a certain time, doing little
Mhm,
things with the child. She's not really
mhm,
worried about she could be have the mindset of wanting to go to the club too. It's not to say that these single moms don't be going to the club, but at least her priorities, like she's going to the club only when she can have a babysitter and it ain't like
mhm.
everything, all of her ducks is in order, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But normally speaking, she's working on a schedule basis. And if you have a child, that'll work pretty good for you. So I would say that that's one benefit where the single mom, she understands the relationship dynamic of dealing with a man with children because she has a
Mhm,
child as well. The single
mhm,
woman, if you're a single father, she may be so needy and so selfish, she may not truly understand that. And it's not to say that they can't,
mhm,
but from the men that I've coached and my own experiences,
mhm.
it's more than likely to happen that way.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
the cons of it, I would say, as I just told you, the man goes into the relationship with operating from a standpoint of a lot of responsibility, zero authority. And the old saying goes, responsibility without any authority is essentially slavery.
Slavery. Yeah.
So uh it's not good. You got to negotiate to like discipline her kid. It's just terrible. And then not only that, some men will be like, listen, bro, you taking care of another man's child, right?
Yeah.
Taking care
Yeah.
of another man's child. And I would say that that is like, yeah, when you look at it like, yeah, I am taking care of another man's child. But I always like to compare things, right?
Mhm.
A lot of people have pets.
Okay.
So if you're a man and you have a dog, I mean, I'd rather take care of a human than an animal. If I'm being honest, right?
Yeah, yeah,
If you
yeah.
gave me the choice, listen, I ain't
Yeah.
got no pets in my crib at all. I'm not an animal. I'm not an
Mhm,
animal person, but if I'm being honest, I would rather take care of that's just another, I would say that would be it isn't a pro, but it's more like if you're gonna compare and contrast something there, that
You wouldn't yeah, you wouldn't even
as far as that
question it. Yeah.
argument, as far as that
Mhm,
argument, like, oh man, you take care of another man's child. You don't want to do that if you don't have to. And I
mhm.
wouldn't even recommend it at all if you don't have any kids. But if you do have kids and this woman just happens to be a good one, the needle out of the haystack, then okay, let's see what it's about. But
Mhm.
also don't do it out of scarcity. Do it out of like that woman, she made it to the finish line.
I've literally said it, and I mentioned it to ladies in a previous episode I did where I was trying to explain to them, if you are a single woman, if you got some weight on you, if you got some shortcomings or issues or whatever, or some strikes against you, whatever, your femininity, your softness, what you bring to the table needs to be better than the women that don't have those boundaries or or those issues. And I'm
Yeah,
trying to explain to them, it's almost like they get more entitled to talk about what they demand and everything. I'm like, no, you have less leverage in the dating
yeah,
market. So instead, if you are shit, I'm gonna just say it. You a baby mama in America, if you black, if you heavy, um, if you ain't the prettiest woman ever, you can end up with a guy that will take care of you and provide for you and love you, but you can't act like you a 10 when you're not. And you can't act like you don't have the extra stuff that comes with you that you do. And
you
I'm
got to
like,
lower your
your mindset
standards.
has to switch. If I'm comparing Lady A, who has no children, to Lady B that does, and they look exactly the same level of beauty and all this other stuff, but the woman who is has a child is feminine, soft, wants to figure out how to add and build up my career and how she can support me. She's at a whole different mentality. She's not just coming in looking at what she can take from me, but what she can give. And then the other woman who's was a single woman who's childless, she could even be a little younger, entitled, narcissistic, always got her hand out, super demanding, never
Mhm.
apologizes.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a real that's gonna be a real choice. That's gonna be a real thing that I'm gonna have to start strongly consider if those are my two options that I have available. I know for sure I'm not gonna get the chick that has no, I'm not gonna go with the one who showed me all these other traits that's way worse. So, ladies, there's still an opportunity, and y'all know that there's a market of men that will still talk to y'all and deal with y'all. You just have to lead more with the things that makes you a woman, so that you can stand out from many of the women who don't even have children, but are so nasty and entitled and arrogant, and think that I don't want a man, I don't need a man, I can choose a man. All this crazy chaos. There's women who have children who wipe the floor with women who don't.
Yeah, no,
You just
that's a
got to be one
fact.
of those ladies. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fact. And a lot of women tend to think that they, they follow Justin LeBoy. They repost things like unbothered. I'm not in competition with no one.
Mm.
Right? They have
Mhm.
this solipsistic view. They think the world revolves around them.
Yeah.
And the truth is, everyone is in competition. The world is
Always.
competition.
Always.
Men, we're in competition with other men.
Mhm.
Women, you're in competition with other women. So, what you said was perfect, man. The single moms out there, they need to realize that, well, you're in competition with other women that don't have any kids. And you're also in competition with really like the same type of guys, unless you lower your hypergamous standards. Like,
Mhm.
if you're not going to lower your standards, then the type of guys that you want, these girls with no kids want too. And
Yep.
you're competing against that guy. So
Yep.
what can you do to stand out?
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. 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 Listen, bro. I appreciate you showing love to the audience, and coming through for my I've been doing this podcast for just a little over a year, and I'm honored, man, that you came on, and showed love. Why don't you tell everybody how they can support you and how they can find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on No Fugazi podcast. That's on YouTube. You can also find me on Instagram. I got two handles there at No Fugazi podcast on Instagram, my business page, my personal page. Kind of post pretty much the same content though. That's at Cooley 1007. Then also TikTok as well, X as well. That would all be No Fugazi podcast there. But yeah, man, it was a good conversation, man. I look
Mm,
forward to seeing, what you got going on in the future, and I'm looking forward to seeing your growth, in this
appreciate it.
space. Definitely looking forward to all of that, man. I think you're talented.
Mm,
There's a market for everyone, man.
mhm,
I would say not a there's a every voice is unique to its own degree.
mhm,
And I think that when you understand that, well, the way I speak, me and Cooley, we may say the same things. Me and this person, we may actually say the same things, but
mhm,
my delivery could be a little bit different. The way I
mhm,
deliver it could be a little bit different. And that can take you a far away, man. That can take you a far away, because as far as the red pill ideology and manosphere and stuff like that, we
mhm.
tend to use similar talking points. If not talking points, we tend to have some of the same thought process as far as how we view
Mhm.
male and female intersexual dynamics,
Yeah.
right? And we tend to make well, I mean, the descriptors tend to be like the same. We're all describing the same events that we're all experiencing.
Mhm,
So I would say, listen, brother, you got a huge opportunities for you in the future. Just the way
mhm,
you deliver your message, the way you speak.
mhm.
So keep pushing, man, and don't be scared, bro. Do it all, bro. Listen,
Alright.
I'm the type of individual, if
Mhm,
I feel a little bit uncomfortable about it,
mhm,
I gotta do it. Oh, nigga, you pussy. Like, I'll be talking to my nigga, pussy. What? Not finna do
mhm,
that because you're a little bit. What is this? I'm gonna
mhm.
go ahead and do that. You know what
Got
I'm
it.
saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you
Just a
take
year.
that mindset, in this business, you'll
Mm.
go a long way. And don't be afraid to show your L's. But when you got them W's, clip that up and put it out there.
Hey, this episode is gonna be another W, brother. Brother, I appreciate you for sliding through. We definitely gonna be connecting soon. And I told you, bro, I'm excited once I do some of the plans we talked about beforehand. Once that stuff's done, I'd be happy to come through and
Yeah,
see
man.
if
I'll have you on the show for
yeah.
sure, man. We're not too far from one another, so we can
Yep,
definitely
yep.
figure that out. Yeah, man.
All right, brother. Well, listen, y'all, make sure that y'all support him at Cooley at No Fugazi on YouTube, TikTok, X, and Instagram. Make sure that y'all show love. Make sure y'all follow and check out his content, and make sure y'all become a subscriber. Everybody I've been bringing on, I appreciate them. They're spitting a lot of facts and truth. And this is a brother who I pride myself on trying to read and learn and constantly wanting to learn. This is one of the content creators that I can definitely vouch for, both in observation and even in this conversation, that lets me know he isn't somebody that just gets behind a microphone and it is what it is. He actually preps and prepares and gets ready for a lot of this stuff. And I appreciate like the effort you've been putting into this type of work, bro.
I'll leave your audience with this, right?
Mhm.
So if we're in, because I transitioned into debating, and there's reasons I explained some of my reasons of why I transitioned into debating and stuff like that too.
Mm,
But and this is certain things that men and women don't fully understand. Is they're not really logical. So
mm,
when you're looking at like the classical laws of logic, that would be
yep,
the law of identity, the law of excluded middle, the law of non-contradiction.
yeah, the
And
great. Yep.
the law of identity simply states that if you're making a conflation that Cooley can be you, then you just have violated the law of identity,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
If the law of excluded middle, that's if you're saying something is either true or false, it can't
Can't
be
be both.
true and false. It can't be both. It's either one or the other, right?
Yep.
And then the law of non-contradiction is, well, if you're saying it's A but also not A, then you're now violated the law of contradiction.
Hmm.
And when you understand these things, like classical laws of logic, and you're having conversations with people, you'll be able to see when they're saying something illogical. Not only that, when you're dating, when you're dating someone,
Facts.
you'll be able to see that this chick is mad for this doesn't even make any sense. So
Hmm.
therefore, it's no reason for a man to get mad. Not only that,
Mm,
men, you are in a superior leadership position.
mm,
It's in the woman's nature to be emotional. That's not anything that you should get upset about and be like, well, these chicks is always so emotional. No, women are going to be women, right? You are the
mhm,
one to guide them. You are the one to be more logical. So you have to guide them in certain ways.
mm.
So I'll go ahead and leave your audience with that, the classical laws of logic. But other than that, man, good conversation, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Listen, I appreciate it. We're gonna talk soon, bro.
All right, man. Have a blessed one.
All righty. So, y'all, in light of what he said, especially about those 3 points, if you haven't watched my episode titled "How to Become a Great Master Communicator," this is an opportunity to check that out. I think I released it literally last month, and we covered a lot of that. And I even showed the book of 100 different fallacies that you can identify. I hope y'all enjoyed this. So, obviously, for those who been maybe doing super chats or commenting, StreamYard for whatever reason today was not showing me any comments. It's completely blank. So I see that it's on my phone. So I'm going to skim through the phone now and acknowledge anything that I kind of see. But that conversation was dope. I hope that y'all really enjoyed it. Shout out to the humble hurricane for the $5. She that he writes, some black folks out here for reparations from it's my converse. That's hilarious. Oh my God, it's a hell of a lot of comments in here. Wow. Samuel Jenkins, 6288, $10. Appreciate you, brother. He writes the phrase RBF has been hijacked, racial black fatigue, and was misused. The phrase for us is racial black battle fatigue. Oh, okay, okay. Appreciate you for that. Hey, I see a whole lot of people. Oh, shout out Darwin. I see you in the chat for sure. Oh, a bunch of people was up in here. Wow. Andre Woods, 6742. Thank you for the 999. He writes, misandrists think black men have no choice but to be Democrats. And because they have no choice but to be Democrats, black men don't use government programs because they think you have to. They talk crazy. Yeah, man. It's definitely interesting, and I did like that convo him and I did in terms of hoping that there's a change in terms of a return to masculinity. It's not about a return to misogyny, and I want to make sure that that's different than often I think what's accused of that's happening, and sometimes is happening in the manosphere space. The return to masculinity is a space where men are reminded about what their biological hardwired roles should be when it comes to how to engage with women, how to engage with each other, how to stand on truth, regardless of who your audience is or who's around you. That's what I'm talking about. And that's the type of masculinity that I think needs to return. I think that we have a lot of highly emotional men. I've been one in the past. And my goal is for all of us as men to like get better, be better stewards of the life that we have. And some of the things he was saying was very challenging and thought provoking. So I'm definitely going to rewatch this for sure. Um, Andre Wood 6742 499 question for Cooley. Sorry, I couldn't see it because of the StreamYard thing. A lot of black women have inferiority complex towards white light skinned women. They scapegoat black men to hide it. Would you agree? Sometimes. I'm going to answer obviously, although I'm not Cooley. Sometimes it's an insecurity issue, and to be fair, a lot of black women have articulated that the feelings they have when they see a man that looks like them with somebody else that doesn't look like them, there's thoughts of self-doubt, self-worth, wondering what's wrong with me or why does he prefer that over us, that kind of dynamic. A lot of times what's crazy is like I think it's a variety of different things that's at play. I think it's a combo of all the men that she tried in the past that it didn't work out with. If she was with any of those men, she wouldn't even probably care as much. And obviously she's not. And then, there's men that she's ignored. And some of those men would be the men that end up dating other people who now she feels some type of way about. And then on the flip side, there are men who disparage women for a whole host of different reasons, including race. And that combo, along with the racial history in America and everything else, there's a variety of explanations, I think, for why there's general feelings that's not positive. That typically doesn't, and Mika kind of alluded to it. There's a jealousy factor often when they see a black man dating interracially that they just don't feel when they see a black woman doing the same. Like none of them were up in arms when they saw Kamala Harris, who's not foundational Black American but Indian. None of them had that same feeling that they had when they see a black athlete with a white woman who they don't know and haven't had a conversation with, versus Kamala Harris, who they also don't know and probably have never had a conversation with. You'll typically see these noticeable differences with that. So I think it's a variety of different things. I don't think every single woman that feels some type of way about it, it's because she feels inferior. Sometimes they just feel tired. They feel frustrated. They're not aware of where to find the guys that they want or why it is that the guys that they want can't find them or want them. So I think it's a combo of a whole host of different things. And I appreciate you, bro, for that $4.99. Smooth and improving. Thank you for the $2. He writes, we finally got cool homie Cooley and in the building. Yeah, man, it was dope for him. I had no idea he was in Jersey, like me. So stay tuned, man, because I can see us doing some future collabs, and definitely some in-person stuff too, for sure. And that'll be pretty dope and exciting. And once my plans that I told him comes to fruition and I make those announcements, man, y'all go see, it's gonna be exciting. And Smooth to Improve, you also give another $2. The sisters in the chat left when Cooley said white. Yeah, man. He and me are kind of in a similar boat where I understand if a Chinese person says they want their Chinese child or son or daughter to date somebody Chinese or white or black or whatever, like they want the date within a respective group because they want to maintain history and culture and different things. I get it. I understand that. But I also understand what his argument was, which is like there's actually so much more that's needed and important beyond just a person's race or skin color. That I think what tends to happen is people put that as number one, which is, I guess, is fine if that's their choice. But the people who sometimes emphasize that the most may struggle with some of the other pieces being missing. But there's definitely people who have a very well balanced view where they're like, oh, hey, I just want to date a black man, black woman, and I want to date a white man, white woman, Asian, Hispanic, whatever. But I think what's most important is what's the other factors that you're paying attention to. What's their character like? What's their track record? Did they grow up around men? Did they grow up around their father? Did they grow up around leadership? Did they grow up around women who see value in men? That type of dynamic. So, I think there's a whole host of things that, you can kind of factor in at play. And the other big thing is, I think from the interracial discussion standpoint, I'll close out with this. When you have the most to say about interracial anything and your outcomes relationally, especially as a man, is one where you're constantly chastising the men or black men that's dating out. But your life doesn't look like anything that you're promoting. You're chastising them for dating out and marrying out, but you aren't married yourself. for 20 years. You're talking about how they're treating that, how they should be choosing a black queen, and you simultaneously are knocking up those black queens and not wifing them up. Um, it's not the flex you think it is when you're trying to go at people about their personal decisions in terms of their relationships, especially when it's about something as simple as race. If you're pointing to behaviors, if you're pointing to how a woman's carrying herself or how a man's carrying himself in a relationship, I get that. But if it's literally just on skin color alone and you have no other evidence, listen, I'm gonna make a statement right now. I think that a lot of y'all that are the hotep dudes that's the hardest with this stuff. Um, if you got a massive body count of sleeping with a whole lot of black women and you ain't marrying none of them, this probably means, whether you realize it or not, the only value you saw in them was for their bodies, not as wives. So before you get to speaking about everybody else and what they doing or not doing, how about look at your outcomes in your life, and have you treated these so-called queens or ladies in the way in which you say it on stage? And more often than not, I notice that the people who tend to be the loudest in this category are either not happy with what they have, um, don't have what they're promoting, or are interested in something that doesn't concern them. So, I'll leave y'all with that, and y'all can decide who that applies to. And listen, if it don't apply, let it fly. Listen, y'all, I thoroughly enjoyed this interview. The brother is very smart. He was entertaining, hilarious, in fact. And it was dope. Sabby one night, Cooley the next night. Tomorrow night, I'm gonna let y'all know, and I'm gonna post it pretty soon. I'm actually gonna be linking up with DJ Hemp on his podcast as well. I'm gonna post the flyer. I'm gonna be doing their panel tomorrow night. And then on Thursday, I'm gonna have a dope special guest pulling up as well. And y'all are not going to want to miss this, because we've already done one collab on his platform, and now he's going to bless your boy coming onto mine as well. So I'm going to be announcing both of those tomorrow, or at least putting it out tomorrow. But really appreciate y'all. And I'm going to let y'all know pretty soon when my announcements come of what my plans and goals are for 2026. Just know that I'm going to need y'all, because what I'm about to do is yeah, you'll see. So listen, y'all, have a good evening. Have a good night. I'm going to see all y'all that's going to be checking in bright and early tomorrow. I'm going to be getting ready for a couple of these episodes and shows. And I like what this is turning into, and I hope that y'all thoroughly enjoyed it. And again, I apologize for StreamYard not showing me any of the comments, so I couldn't display it like I normally could and engage with it during the conversation like I normally would. In hopes that this is a one-off, and I'll test StreamYard going forward to make sure that the comments are showing. And then we'll see and take it from there. So listen, I hope that y'all been enjoying the content. Please make sure that you like it, that you send it to 2, 3, 4, 5 different people if you can. It's time for us to blow up these interviews so that y'all can put your boy in a certain position for me to be able to make a very, very drastic move that I want to make very, very soon and shortly. So y'all engaging in this stuff, watching it, liking it, sharing it, even the donations, all of that stuff helps for sure. And if you are not a member of this channel after a year running it, what are you doing? The membership is $2.99. So feel free to become a member if you haven't done so, because the big platforms of stuff that I'm about to do, we're going to need all the members that we can, because that's what's going to carry and be able to make this really turn into something massive. Right now, I think I'm at like 30. Where am I at? I'm at 38,261 subscribers as of the beginning of this interview. My next goal is 40 and then 50,000, y'all. And that's my goal for this year. So if you are not a subscriber, feel free to subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Definitely become a member if you've enjoyed any of the content. That $2.99, you may think it's small or it's not a big deal. It actually goes really, really far. And it's going to help me with doing the things that I want to do. And I'm just going to let y'all on a little thing. I want to be, when I'm done with this and I'm done with my life, I want to see lives change. I want to see lives change. And there's a lot of things I've been attacking the last year, and people didn't really realize what I was doing yet. And Charleston White kind of said it, that one day I think when we're all gone and done, a lot of people will just start to realize what I've been doing up to this point. So I'll explain more in the next week or two. Listen, y'all have a good night. I'm gonna see y'all soon. And last but not least, if y'all want me to collab with all these people, y'all know what's really, really helpful for me. I'm one person. Y'all could just reach out to those people and tell them to email me at askabrotherpodcast@outlook.com. They can just email me and then I can look up their information, look up their page and see if it makes sense. And then I can collab with them. Well, I'm one person and y'all telling me 20 different people I need to interview and collab with. It's very hard. But if y'all see it or y'all think that there's people I need to meet with or go on their platform, them come on mine, I also could reach out to them, especially if you have a relationship with them. I want doctors, I want lawyers, I want police officers, I want military people, I want you name it. I want teachers, I want educators, I want feminists, I want Democrats, I want progressives. I had a leftist on yesterday. I want conservatives. I want this to be a space where ideas can be brought up, can be challenged, can be explored. Just a space where we're allowed to think again. It's not always about agreeing with everything, but if we're not allowed to speak, that's one step removed from us not being allowed to think for ourselves. So I hope that this was dope. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. I'm tired. I'm about to go get something to eat and I'm going to talk to y'all on the other side. Have a good evening. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.